We're back. That's right, we are back at 406 Garage because a lot of people wanted to see more of this place, wanted tours of some of the trucks and all that, so we're gonna do that. There's my cab over. Hey, I'm back. So much energy.
I'd never run out. Never.
So what do we got, Ben?
People want a bunch of stuff.
People want to see your stuff.
So many trucks.
Lots of trucks.
So many stories.
Well, let's pick one and start.
Okay. Talk about
this one I know a little about. This truck here is the Rancher Special. Very, very rare model. If you ever need to haul pipe and stuff like that on the ranch, it comes with a custom saddle for holding your pipe so you don't drop it out the side of the bed.
Yes.
Yeah, very rare.
We actually call this the Cowboy Truck. This belonged to my friend's father in Kalispell, Montana, and he was cutting firewood one season and he fell a tree, and then the tree went supposed to go this way and it went this way and it went right there.
Well,
so that's actually been like that for the better part of 3 decades. And the tailgate still works, so we just said, you know what? That's cool. Just leave it. It's character. Leave it. It's part of the story of the truck. And it's still got Montana plates and they're permanent tagged. It's lifetime Montana plated truck. So that's original paint too. It's never been painted.
what year is this one?
71, 3/4 ton. And it's pretty rare. It's a long bed step side, which they didn't make a ton of. What's actually even more rare is the one you're standing next to that we brought back from Ferns. That's a short bed step side 3/4 ton. That's even more rare than this one. This one's a runner driver now though. Technically it was when we got it, but
Now it's more than technically a runner driver.
More that you can like drive it to town now.
Even got the high lift jack and a lock so no one steals it.
Yeah, that's, see, to me all that stuff has to stay.
Yes, I agree.
It's been on there for so long. It's part of the truck. Whether it's ugly or not, you just have to kind of embrace it.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. The Plow Truck. So, this is a 1970.
Snow's coming.
Snow's coming, we're going to be using it. Plows the driveway every year. So, some friends of mine, family friends, used to own the International Harvester dealership in Missoula, Montana, which is where this truck came from. This is a 73 travel, all half-ton, 4-wheel drive. It has a lot of rare options. It is no show pony, but it has a lot of rare options. It had the wood paneling, had the deluxe molding. It's got barn doors, which there was not very many of. It's a big block, which means it's a 392. It's automatic, power steering, power brake, AC, everything. This truck came in brand new, and it came in on a car carrier. It was ordered by a rancher in Missoula, Montana, and he ordered it for his wife. And it was going to be the kid hauler, the back and forth to the ranch. And you know, ranchers get paid once or twice a year, that's it. So this was coming in the fall. He's taking all his hay crop money and going in and he was paying for it. And they had the title paperwork done, the plates were done, everything was ready to go. Well, he came in the day it came in on the transport carrier, and right next to it was a crew cab long bed 4-wheel drive.
That one?
Not that one.
Oh,
one
that would have been super cool if that's the one that would have came in with it.
I don't know the story that's that good, but one like that, which is called the Travelette. That was on the transport truck with the Travelall. And the rancher took one look at the pickup truck and said, okay, no more Travelall, we're taking the pickup. And the guy on the dealership was like, he goes, I don't care what you need to do, just unwind the deal, take it on trade, whatever you do, just move the numbers around. You keep the Travelall, I'm taking the pickup. So my buddy's father, who owned the dealership, was like, okay, just make him happy, you know, whatever. So they did the deal, he took the truck, and then the dealership owned this. It's technically used at that point. It's titled, it's plated, it's ready to go. So my buddy's father says to my friend, he said, what are we gonna do with this? We're gonna sell it as demo? We're gonna use it as a parts runner? Because this is October, and you know, he said, well, go down to the plow dealership, go to put a plow on it. We'll plow snow with it, because it's Missoula, Montana. We'll plow the lot with it for the winter, and in the spring, we'll take the plow off, we'll put the bumper back on, we'll have a couple thousand miles on it, we'll sell it as a demo, you know, and we'll just take a little loss on it, it'll be no big deal. So he went down, put the plow on, everything else, and 47 years later, plow's still on, truck's still together, and they called me in 2010, they closed the dealership in 2010, and said, hey, we're closing the store, we sold the franchise to the Big Truck International dealer, and you need to come buy this because it belongs at your house and your shop. And so I went to Missoula and picked it up, brought it home, and It's plowed snow on my property ever since. And if you look at the license plate, or go look at the inside, that's fine. Look at the license plate. That's the original plate. Montana is 1-year tags. They expired in 1973 or 74. This is a 1973. They put a dealer plate over the top of that and they ran it the rest of its life. They never titled it. So it's still on the original title, the original plate, the original warranty card, and line set ticket in the glove box matches the rancher's name because it was never retitled. Yeah.
So what you're saying is this back seat has probably never been used.
Other than throwing stuff on it.
Yeah. No one has ever sat back here.
No, probably not.
In almost 50 years.
I'm guessing not many people sat in the front either.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is cool. Yeah, look how crisp the door shuts.
Yeah, that's definitely an international thing on these trucks. You can look at how good these doors are still too. There's an old set of wooden ski racks, old bottle jack fell in. There's tire chains for it.
So that plow has never been taken off in almost 50 years?
Yeah, 1973, so yeah, 48 years. Yeah, that's all these old internationals. I tell people this all the time. It's crazy. Every one of these doors, like you can't buy most new trucks that'll do that.
My 2014 Dodge doesn't shut that crisp.
Mm-hmm. And like the Cowboy Truck right there, if we go over there, it's sitting at a little bit of an angle. You can literally let go of the door and it shuts itself that good. And that's the way these things were built back then. You know, these doors probably weigh 150 pounds. But like that door opens and closes the same way. You just let go of the door. Show me a brand new truck that does it that good. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
not mine, I can tell you that.
no. And you know, whatever they made their upholstery out of, and that's got a few little tears, but that's 50, this is a 71, that's 50-year-old upholstery and everything.
What impresses me about them is the interiors, the dash and all that stays in such good shape. On a lot of
the only thing that gets killed usually is the pad from the sun. So if it sits out in the sun and you don't have a sunshade, you'll get some cracks in the dash just because of the nature of the material. But
like on a lot of these around here, all the dash face and all that looks like new still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, whatever they made, still going, whatever they made in those materials, what they made it out of was very resilient.
Definitely asbestos.
Probably. Yeah, and lead-based paint.
There's no way it's good for you, but it lasts.
Lead-based paint, single stage, asbestos.
Oh, you like the microphone.
And the pants.
And the pants. See, he's such an international guy that even his tow truck is an international.
Yeah, that is an item I should have bought a long time ago. I've never realized how handy that is to not have to take a trailer every time. Like, cause I mean, I get a lot of things that are not close to here, meaning like Montana or Idaho or whatever. And I don't necessarily take this truck to do that. But anytime I have to run something to the body shop in Bend and they're gonna do some wet sanding or whatever, or I wanna take it in the tire shop and they're gonna do all new wheels and tires and stuff on it and I have to leave it, it is so easy just to take that, load it on the deck, go to the shop, drop it, and drive home, and no backing up of trailers, no jack. Much like your tow truck with the wheel lift, where it's so easy. Yeah. And so,
and everybody asks why I don't buy a rollback again. I have friends who have rollbacks. I don't need one.
And like I said in the other video, you can drive whatever you want, whenever you want. And you you heard that.
See, it's on camera again.
Yeah. If you need it, you come get it. Not everybody, but you. Yeah. So it makes it just, my grandfather and I think a lot of people's parents and grandparents have told us over the years, work smarter, not harder.
What are you doing to this one? It's been sitting here a while.
This is a local customer, and we took the body off the frame, and that has late 70s Scout Dana 44 axles, completely rebuilt hub to hub. It has all new suspension from IH Parts America with Bilstein 5100s and new shackles and everything else. and it doesn't look really good right now. I guess we could show it, but we dropped a 5.3 LS in it with a 4L60 and a Dana 300 transfer case.
Well, everything underneath is brand new.
Yeah, up to the frame, it's new. So the next stage of this is it needs to go to the paint and body shop. Not a whole lot of fun to look at right now, but we're gonna ask anyway. So,
Oh yeah.
like obviously there's wiring harness and a fuel and whatever. But that's all. I mean, the motor's mounted, the tranny's mounted, the transfer case is mounted, everything's mounted. It just
So drivetrain, suspension wise, all brand new.
yeah, well, used motor, but
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else is new. The transmission's brand new, the transfer case is brand new, the axles are brand new, the suspension, everything else brakes and stuff like that. So what this will get next is the body will come off, we'll do all the paint and body work, full roll cage and everything else, put it back on the truck, then it gets all the plumbing, all the wiring, so all this gets tidied up, all the ducting and AC and stuff like that. So it gets all put together once, then it gets taken apart, then it gets all put together again. So you end up having to build it twice.
The price of doing it right.
Yeah, do it right once, expensive, or do it twice wrong and spend a lot more money.
Still expensive.
A lot more money.
Gotcha. Someone asked about a 47 KB.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah. And there's one right there.
Yeah.
This one doesn't run and drive yet.
The fender is in the back.
Does have, so it's the
It is
complete body.
truck,
Yeah.
and I do have the windshield frame and the glass, but if you look at the door, yes, it was a City of Bozeman, Gallatin County utility rig forever and ever. And it's always been a
Oh,
pickup. It
fender.
was never yeah, there's a fender. It was never a flatbed or whatever. It's an actual pickup. KB3 is only a half-ton truck. This is definitely a project truck, but this is one of those trucks where what I would do with this, if this is my truck, and we've actually had a few customers that have talked about this, is I would take everything off this truck and I would set it on a late model chassis.
You know the best thing about this shot right here?
Hmm.
That cab over's perfectly in the background.
It's your favorite truck here.
Yeah. No, this would be cool on a.
Yeah, and I would keep everything,
Oh,
all this stuff.
This for sure has to stay.
Right, and the fender that's on, so this truck originally, most of these were green trucks. So that fender is a green fender. It wasn't on the truck originally, obviously. The original fender that was painted this color is gone, whatever. But that's what color it was. So my body guy, who's a hot rod guy, said he would just take that fender and he would spray it with some of this paint and faux patina, fake it basically, but make it look like it was part of the truck and you put it back on. But the green underneath is what this truck is underneath, so it actually is correct. I know that's kind of a mouthful, but
It eventually makes sense.
yeah, and I would set it on a late model, a GM chassis or a Chrysler chassis or whatever. And then you can just get in it and turn the key and drive it anywhere and have this awesome old looking truck that drives like a new truck. The old red diamond 6-cylinder motor. With everything here all together, the wires are a little chewed from the rodents, obviously, but even the fuel bowl and stuff, I would be surprised if this didn't run. And I say that in the respect that I've had so many of these that sit so long as they have oil in them and they have coolant in them, if you put fuel back to them and you put juice and you put plugs and wires and stuff like that, I'd say 7 times out of 10 they run. 8 times out of 10. No guarantee, but it'd be fun to try.
Check that little Holly carburetor.
A little 1-barrel.
It's funny how torsion suspension now is the new big thing, and
Right.
it's on a 1947.
Oh, we want to talk about the new big thing. We go pull in one of these travel-alls and show the stow and go seating, the rollover back seat
Oh yeah.
from 1969.
Yeah.
That's the new thing in all the caravans and minivans. Yeah. No, not new. Oh my God. What got into you?
So what year is this one?
79.
And what makes it so rare? Oh, it's a backwards hood for one.
That is a Nissan 3.3 liter turbo diesel. It's called an SD33. It can't get its way out of a wet paper bag, but once it's going down the road, it will get 50 miles to the gallon.
You talking? It's got 2 air filters. That's performance.
It's double air filter and it has a turbo. A lot of these were naturally aspirated. This one is turbo.
Oh, it's backwards. The exhaust is on the other side.
Uh-huh. Little baby tiny turbo right here. It's like the biggest size of your fist. Here.
Here.
Yeah, see? Right there. Little tiny baby turbo.
It's totally backwards of every diesel engine out there.
Uh-huh.
It's like a mirror image.
So it's rare
See?
because they only made them in...
They even put the name backwards.
Yeah. They only made them in 79 and 80.
And this is factory?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a partnership with Nissan.
Yeah, but this came from international.
100%. It's on
this.
the build sheet.
Not a conversion.
No, not at all. And this one has power steering. This one has power brakes. This one is a T19 4-speed, which is the wide ratio, which means it will actually go 62 to 65 miles an hour. This one has Dana 44 axles and with disc brakes. And the gentleman that had this did a spring over, which for most people are familiar with that. You take the springs from the underside, put them on the top side, gives it a little bit of lift. And this one has 456 gears, and it has Detroit lockers front and rear in it. The downside to this truck is it lived a lot of hard winters in Montana, and the mag chloride ate all the sheet metal, so it's rusty. However, if you look right there, there's a tan truck, looks exactly like this one.
This one here?
Not rusty.
Yeah, but it's dented.
It's okay. Doesn't have any rust. So that tub, and when I say tub, is, you know, the windshield, the tub is not rusty at all on this one. This tub will go on that chassis with that drivetrain. That is believe it or not, you can drive that to town. It was a daily driver. He drove it all the time. It's just ugly. But if you had that plus this, you would have an amazing truck.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that's cool too is we have over there, I have what's called the Terra top, which makes it a pickup truck like this. And there's a header panel that goes across here. So then you've got a turbo diesel, sprung over, factory lockers, pickup truck with a tailgate with a removable top. That's what all this would
now
become.
and now they come out with the Gladiator, which is the hot new thing because it's a pickup that you can take the top off of.
Just saying, been around for a while. Nothing new. So yeah, it's rare, it's rough, but it's rare, but everything's here to make it really good.
The parts that make it rare are not rough.
Yeah, and size matters. Why wouldn't it? Factory bucket seats, factory console.
This seat has had someone sit in it.
1 or 2. Probably been fishing, hunting, and ranching. Probably had a dead elk and a dead deer in it one time too. Almost guarantee. And when's the last time you saw a 3.3 liter engine that takes 11 quarts of oil? Because it's a diesel.
The oil pan is bigger than the engine.
Yep. Most definitely is. And you can stop an elk with that, I guarantee. And you can plug in the block heater from at least 25 feet away.
Yeah, you got enough extension cord here.
So this is a running driving project. It would be a very good builder for somebody, and it does come with the tub and everything else. So if somebody wanted it, it's like, here's everything you need, and you can drive it the way it is, but you would get to build something really cool. It's a half-ton truck, but it's fairly well built. This one has pretty rare too. It's got factory buckets with console. Those are factory seats. Not many of them had bucket seats.
He said, what did they make this stuff out of?
I don't know, because it lasts forever.
Like, look at this dash. It looks like a new truck's dash. Like,
yeah, and it's 50 years old.
even the door panels.
But then the door panels are just metal. I mean, this is a sheet of steel that's got pressed edges, and it screws
Yeah, but it's not like faded out or...
No, the armrest is still good. The window crank obviously has some modern stereo
Yeah.
speakers and stuff that weren't there, but like all of this, you know, this is all a stamped piece of metal, you know, and it was strong enough that it didn't get dented, it didn't get ruined, you know.
This dog loves my pants. Oh yeah, everybody's favorite Ford Courier. For sale?
Yes, I don't normally say a dollar amount on a video, but I will tell you straight up if somebody shows up what it takes. So this truck this is original paint. This came out of Eastern Oregon. It has a reman. So this was a partnership with Mazda. So this has a Mazda motor. That's what that's what it is. It's a Mazda pickup. The motor that's in this truck supposedly is a reman motor. I got no reason not to believe him because everything on the seals and gaskets looks new. We rebuilt the carburetor, we put a starter in it, we put a voltage regulator and a battery. It cranks over, it still doesn't fire for whatever reason. We never figured it out, so we pushed it outside, we never messed with it again. $1,000. Somebody wants it, that's all it takes. Let's see here. Hood release. I'll show you the end. Oh, dang. I'm supposed to catch that.
What is with all these backwards hoods?
Yeah, look at the motor. I don't think he was lying.
No,
I think it's a reman motor.
it's all repainted for sure.
For sure. The gaskets and the fan and radiator's new and whatever. Anyway, we have $1,000 into it. That's all I want back out of it. If somebody wants to take on this project, I mean, this would be, it's the ochre brown color, original paint. That to me is cool, but.
And if you need delivery, I know a guy.
Right.
It's clean, it's totally straight, no
It
rust.
has all the trim and the molding. And,
Yeah.
The dog dish hubcaps are on the floorboard in the passenger seat.
Door locks work. Oh no, they're back here.
Oh yeah, they're there.
Even comes with sideboards. And do you know the cost of lumber these days?
$1,000.
There's your $1,000 right there.
Worth of lumber right there. I feel like those fit a longer truck, but yeah,
No,
I mean,
no. Ford
no?
Courier.
Okay, perfect.
What the hell are these? Toolbox?
Fuel tanks.
Fuel tanks?
Yeah, the guy used to commute over 100 miles a day, so he put these extra 2 tanks in. So it's got these 2 tanks plus the factory tank, so you can carry 50 gallons of fuel in this truck. And it probably gets 25 miles to the gallon.
Fuel up once a month?
Right. Yeah, I think that's what he did.
And the
And
guy
they're all
who
plumbed in with a switcher valve and everything.
bought my red truck needs these.
Yeah, right.
So when are we building this thing up?
This winter it's going to go in the shop. We're going to put the flatbed on. So the plan with this is to build we're going to build a headache rack that will be probably roughly about that tall. And then the flat deck here we measured, we can do 22 feet and then a 4-foot beaver tail, and then we'll put aluminum ramps out the back. So should be able to carry 2 classic old trucks or cars on the back, and then still have a bumper pull or a pintle hitch style trailer, so if you want to pull a little pup trailer with something else on it. And it really will be used just like around town like the rollback is. Like it's just going to be something fun and cool, and
It's just gonna be a much cooler rollback basically.
right, but not a rollback. We'll put a winch on it though.
Yeah, it needs a winch. I know I said we are gonna put a 5th wheel on it and pull like a 3-car trailer and all that, but
After further discussions,
plans changed. So,
yeah, we had a few adult beverages and a few conversations, and the next thing you know, it's like flatbed, beaver tail,
Yep.
bumper pull trailer. Why would we put a 5th wheel in this when we have, in a later video, we'll show the 379 long hood Peterbilt that we have as well.
See what happens? You get one Peterbilt and all of a sudden they just start rolling in.
She's digging to China.
Look at your nose. Oh, and I said small cam 350. This is a big cam 400 because he's a baller and I had the low end one.
I actually drove it since last time you were here. I drove it down the road just to kind of get a feel for RPM, speed, comfort, whatever. It actually drives really nice. 65 miles an hour, 1450 RPMs.
That's perfect.
Like it was just right in the sweet spot. Digging to China.
She's gonna need a bath.
Yeah. I don't know if that's in the budget right now. She might just have to get the garden hose.
Just so much cool stuff.
Yeah, there's 16 or 18 just in that little cluster right there.
You even got vintage welders.
Yeah, I was told that's early
With-
60s.
with chrome exhaust tips.
Sure, why not? Supposedly this works. I haven't tried it yet.
I know some people are super into like vintage Lincoln welders. This is a SA200. That's I think the one they like.
Yeah, the reason I got this was A gentleman who
because
bought
it was old and cool and you like that stuff?
That is part of it. A gentleman who bought a truck from me wanted to do cash part trade type deal. And so I took this as part trade, thinking that one of these flatbed work trucks that we build, we would put the welder on the back, and we put a gas powered air compressor on there, and then we put a set of torches on it, like acetylene torches. Then somebody could do a vintage logo on the doors and put modern brakes, modern wheels and tires, and get it all roadworthy, and they could use it as a welding truck, but it would be all vintage, but they could go make money with it.
As you were saying.
Very distracting. The bath seems to be getting sooner and sooner.
No, that is a cool setup. You know what year it is?
Early 60s from what all the people I've asked about the serial numbers. Like the numbers are right here. These serial numbers tell, I am not an expert on this, but these serial numbers tell the vintage of it. And what I was told by a couple people is it's early 60s.
So if you're like a Lincoln Welder guy,
Yeah.
look that up and see if you want it.
Yeah, and if somebody wanted the welder, I mean, I would sell the welder too if somebody wanted it. It's fine. I just thought it would be neat to go on a truck. So
Let's put it on a truck then. We got the forklift fixed.
add it to the list. Oh yeah, we have the fork extensions on there now too. Got those fixed.
All right. Now we can do some
Now
stuff.
we can pick up like trucks.
Yeah.
I never thought you were going to be this dirty, Doug. Ever. So dirty. So happy to be dirty, though.
Yes, just like kids. So, a lot of people asked about this one and what the heck is it, and I'd never seen anything like it before, but it's like not a pickup, but not the travel.
So it started as a travel-all. These are called Wagon Masters. They only made them in 72 and 73. It's a factory-built vehicle. And the rumor or the legend or whatever you want to call it that I've been told by the old timers was the guys on the assembly line tried it one day and they showed it to the international executives and they said, yeah, why don't you build a few of those, let's see how they turn out. They built less than 500 of them and they did not sell well. This is the tailgate blank from a travel-all, and they just capped it where the window would come out and they plugged where the crank would go. Obviously they just never cut the holes. So that's a travel-all tailgate that's been capped. This is the cab back of a travelette, which is the pickup. And when if you can actually Google it. If you Google the advertisement for these back in the day, they advertised it as a great camper puller, fifth wheel puller. What they did not realize was
the axle's way up here.
The hitch would have to be here. So needless to say, when it was new at the dealership, it was a flop. It failed.
And now,
because it's old and quirky and weird, everybody wants them because they're super rare.
And nobody has them.
And nobody has them.
And of course, there's one sitting in your yard.
Of course there is. This one actually already belongs to a customer, though. This one is not for sale. But we can find another one. I actually know where there's a couple.
Of course you do.
Not very far away either.
I'm not surprised. You probably have them on speed dial.
The guy's number saved in my phone, yes. You speak the language.
Yeah. And then the ultimate overland rig.
It just keeps losing more of its roof.
What's crazy, is this the roof that was on it?
Yeah.
Like actual house roofing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the windstorm the other day ripped the staples out and they flew off.
So it's got tin sides, but actual house
And you showed
roofing.
the inside of this, right? So the guy that
yeah, it
owned this,
blows me away because it looks like this on the outside,
yeah.
but
So the guy that owned this, he passed away many years ago, but the guy that owned it was a boat builder. So the inside of this is all like basswood and maple, and he also was a massive Grateful Dead fan, so there's a lot of Grateful Dead stickers. Hey, look up at the framework.
yeah, this is crazy.
It's craftsmanship. Even look at the door, on the inside of this door right here. Look at the metal work and the...
Oh, the bronze,
Yeah,
brass.
yeah. And like, you know, made a little window, made all these little trim
Doorknob.
pieces, door. I mean,
So yeah, it looks like
it's old and vintage, but you can appreciate what somebody did to build it.
but it looks like this on the inside. I did not expect it to look like this. Or did I say inside out there?
Yeah, you did.
Starting over. It looks like this on the outside. You would not expect it to look like this on the inside.
And this was his house. He lived in here.
This is where he lived.
Yeah, he lived in it.
That's why he's got it set up with all the shelves and all that stuff up there.
Yeah, he lived it. He had it parked on a friend's property, so he would go in and shower and use the bathroom in the house and stuff like that. But this is where he slept and lived.
I like the garden hose trim.
Yeah, to keep it from rusting. He used what he had. You know?
Yeah,
This is what he had.
this thing is cool.
This is an 11-foot flatbed. This is a true 1-ton, 155-inch wheelbase, Dana 70 front, RA20, which is a 20,000-pound rear axle.
20,000 pounder axle?
Yeah, this is a 1-ton truck with a 20,000-pound raised rear axle.
Do they realize that's 10 tons?
Yeah. And
This
Dana
four-wheel
70
drive?
Dana 70 4-wheel drive, behind the axle steering, inch and a quarter steering.
Dog! Got my camera.
Stop.
Lucy! Now I got you. Now
I
what?
have to go inside and go sit in the kennel.
Now what? I got you. That is staying in the video for sure.
I wish I could have filmed that while you were
From
filming.
the
I had another
outside.
camera doing that.
Don't worry, we got it on this camera.
Yeah. So if you look behind the axle, look at the steering rod. Look how big everything is.
Oh yeah.
So to put that in perspective, and you know this, a Dana 70 or Dana 80, basically the same virtual axle, that's what they put in the rear end of a 1-ton Dodge Dually.
Yeah.
That's the front axle.
This is a beefy truck.
Yeah.
That welder on this truck all set up would be a sweet combo.
Yeah, this one's still got its original lettering and stuff on the door. So you can read it on that side. I think it's Wagon Wheel Sales.
Yep.
Yeah, so this was a farm or ranch place. It was outside of Blackfoot, Idaho. So dry, you know, high desert truck. But 155-inch wheelbase, so it's, you know, 84-inch cabbed axle instead of 60. So you have an 11-foot flatbed instead of an 8-foot flatbed. Still going. No stoppers.
Now on this truck, what is these hydraulic lines?
Diesel fuel.
Diesel.
This has
Oh,
a,
so that's pressure in return.
Mhm.
Is this one has PTO on the back?
No, on the front.
What's this on the back? This crank. Ow! That's sharp. Oh, is it a spare tire crank?
That's it.
Oh.
You got it.
Didn't one of them have a PTO shaft at the back?
Front.
I'm totally thinking of something else.
So this is a factory. So when we looked at the Cowboy Truck over there, the long bed step side, that's what this is. This is a long bed step side shell. But from the factory, they put service boxes on the side instead of fenders.
Yeah, Chevy did that too on something like the C10s and stuff. You could get, it's the same bed, just these are the fenders.
They just did it 10 years after these guys did it.
Again, the hot new thing has been done.
So this is a 75.
Watch out for that.
This is a 75, which is the last year that International made pickup trucks and travel-alls. They ran Scouts till 1980, but the pickup truck line ended in 75. This is the last year they made them. This is a 75. This is original paint. This is a one-owner truck. It is local. It was sold new at Marshall Motors in Bend, Oregon. And it has every option. So it's a 3/4 ton, disc brakes, power steering, power brakes. The guy that owned this, who's now 89, I think he is, he got a bright idea in the 80s when the fuel crisis hit, you know, before the current one we have now. He put a medium duty GMC diesel engine in it.
So this is a diesel?
It's a diesel. So
But a conversion.
he converted it in the 80s, so it's not factory. But it still has the power steering, power brakes. It's an AC truck. It's deluxe interior. It's, you know, it's a 5-speed with overdrive, which is, the training itself is rare. But yeah, it has a GMC medium duty mechanical diesel engine in it.
See, now you got the Chevy guys on board.
Right. And it's got a factory PTO winch. That is not an aftermarket bumper. That is not an aftermarket winch. That is factory. This plate with the receiver, that's, somebody did that. But the bumper and that, they were made by Ramsey. It's PTO. I have that on my travel all. There's one on that travel all over there, and there's one on this truck.
And these 4-door pickups, I always thought were super, super rare, and you've got like 15 of them sitting here.
7, but yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, I mean, round up.
Yeah, round up, 15.
We always round up. We round up. Everything, you know, we sell everything in bulk.
Yeah, we do bulk classics.
Bulk classic purchases.
Super rare bulk classics.
Yeah, bulk inventory and bulk classic. We're like the Costco of vintage trucks. Look at see the fender opening right there? That's a regular 3/4 ton, 1 ton. And you go to that, it's the same fender, but look at the fender opening.
On the blue one?
On the blue truck. That's a 500 series truck, which is a 1.5 tons. Those are 20-inch wheels, dual master cylinders, 17-inch brakes, 20,000 pound rear axle.
So here's a question, since people like to modify things, will that fender bolt onto one of these trucks?
100%, as long as you put on the core support, the lower valance, and everything else.
So if someone want to take one of these and build it all up with big tires and all that, but not lift it, you could bolt on factory fenders with a bigger wheel well opening.
What it would be amazing to do with one of those. Take one of these trucks. You'd have to modify the bed rear wheel well, unless you put a flatbed on it. You have to modify the rear to match the front, which is easy to do, because if you look at that fender and look at this fender, all they did was take out the lip edge. If you look at that that line right there,
yeah,
that's the line that they did. Then they just rolled the metal under. And
well,
I actually have an entire front clip like that.
Well, there's a perfect candidate right here, since it's already missing a fender.
Yeah, no lift, do like 41-inch tires on it.
That would be sweet.
Put a big diesel motor and a manual in it.
So here's my big question.
Only one?
No, I got 50. But how do you remember all these little details of all of these different trucks?
I don't know. I don't know your birth date or her birth date, or I can't remember anything, but I, for some reason, can remember these trucks.
Yeah, like everyone we go to, it's like, it came from right here, here's the dealer, it was sold in brand new, it had this option from the factory, that, and I'm like...
To me, that's one of the most important things about the truck. So
yeah,
if I get that story from the owner, especially the original owner, I do everything I can to either write it down, record it, video it, make notes, you know, I don't know. I have a good memory for it. I don't know why, just do, but I think it's because they mean something to me.
Yeah, clearly. You're clearly really into them. Aside from the fact that you have 500.
Yeah.
The fact that you know every detail about every one. Oh, you know what we need to tell them about? Is your little tractor.
The international.
I heard part of the story the other day.
Well, there's 3 tractors.
No, the little plow tractor.
Oh, the 1942.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is really cool because of how they did it and how they got their parts.
So the same guy that I got the welder from earlier in this video, this was his tractor. His name is Lyle. He is Lyle 78 or 79 now. He bought this tractor years and years and years ago, and he redid the motor and he redid the wheels and tires and all the stuff on it. But this is what this is, and you can look this up. This is a 1942 Gibson Tractor. It was a garden tractor. This was post-depression, pre-war, you know, use what we got. And what this is it's a Wisconsin 12.5 horse motor, so not high horsepower. It's a Model A frame, Model A front axle, Model A rear end, and Model A transmission. This company that manufactured these tractors would go to the wrecking yards back then, because Model A's weren't very old. They would buy the parts, they'd refurbish everything, narrow the axles, narrow everything up, and they retrofitted it into a miniature chassis and put a motor on it, and you could buy these at Sears and Roebuck or, you know, Ace Hardware or whatever.
So this is Model A rear end.
It is.
Just
that's what he told me.
Narrowed Model A rear end.
Yeah.
I like how the brakes like almost like a S-cam.
Yeah.
Like on the semis.
And this is the brake. And that's the clutch. And this is the steering.
It's lever steer?
It's lever steer.
Oh, you got 2?
No, that's for the plow.
Oh, this is the plow, I thought.
Yeah. And then the end of the story.
Oh, there's no steering wheel.
No.
I didn't. I looked at this thing over and over again. I never realized that there's not.
That's the steering wheel. That's the throttle. It's got a hand throttle.
So the throttle is on your steering.
Uh-huh. And that rope is what you started with.
Well, you crank it around there and...
No, you crank it around the pulley in the front and that's how you start it.
And then jump on it.
Uh-huh. Yep. Pull the choke, set the throttle, pull the rope, turn on the fuel.
And this runs and everything?
So that's the best part of the story. So I got this from this old gentleman who's a good friend and whatever. And we decided that we wanted to save it and use it for something. Well, we had to come up with something to use it for. It's got a hitch on the back. We had a tow chain. We figured out that there is not a truck out here pickup truck, not Peterbilts, but pickup trucks, that if it rolls, we can't drag into the shop. So every truck that we've ever worked on that we've pulled into the shop, we drag it in with this little tractor. Even in the snow, we put chains on it and drag it. And
that is awesome.
so a 200-pound guy on the back of this,
That's your counterweight.
Yeah, however much this weighs total, will pull a 5.5 or 6,000 pound truck into the shop if it rolls.
That's awesome.
And we thought that was a good tribute to Lyle to continue to use something that he redid and he saved.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So you got Gibson in the wheels.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
I mean, you see them on eBay. They're on Craigslist. I mean, you can Google them and find them, and they are out there, and they look just like this. They're all the same. They all have red wheels. They all have Model A chassis. They didn't have any extra flavors with them. They only came one way. I think the plow blade might have been optional, but everyone I've ever seen has them, so I think maybe that might have been something they put them all on. I keep waiting for the crash.
She's not quitting.
I know.
So here's my question. Again, just one of 50.
One.
Has International ever made anything that you don't own?
Yeah, they made a stove.
Aside from all like their modern commercial trucks,
appliances.
like the real Internationals from back in the day.
Yeah, they made really awesome generators. I've always wanted to have one of those. Never had one of those. I've never owned a Wagon Master. That belongs to a customer. I'd like to own one of those someday.
You said you know where some are.
I do.
I got a tow truck sitting right
I
there.
haven't talked them out of them yet. I'm still in negotiating status.
How many years have you been in negotiating status?
3, maybe, ish. Something.
This dog just won't quit.
She's a puppy. That's what they do. So yeah, there's a lot of International stuff that they made, and I think that that's something that people don't realize. International did make everything. They made everything for a farm. They made everything for a ranch. They made everything for home. I mean, we have International Harvester refrigerators and chest freezers, and it's all from the 40s and 50s. They all still work perfectly.
So here's a question. Just one.
Number 3.
It's 3 of 1. What got you so into Internationals? Because you're clearly very, very into them. Like more than just like I got this cool old truck.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, child, like diapers, my grandfather bought a brand new 1971 International Harvester Travelall. And he had, back in the 70s, if you are a child of the 70s or close to that, they had these things called car top boats. It's a boat like that right there.
Of course you have one sitting here. Right?
That was my father's. They had racks on the top, and you put the little wheels on the back, and you would hold the front of the boat, and you would wheel it up, and then you would tip it up onto your truck, and you would roll it up. That's why it's called a roll top boat. So we put a boat on the top on the rack, and then we pulled a little 21-foot Shasta tandem axle camp trailer. And we would come out we lived in the valley, that's where I grew up. We would come out to Central Oregon, here, where I now live, and we would camp and fish, and in the summertime, spend every summer with family, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, big get-togethers and stuff, and camping and fishing. So I grew up from diapers until my teenage years in the back of a Harvester Gold 71 Travelall with a car top boat and a Shasta trailer. When my grandpa passed away, my parents inherited the Travelall, the camper, and the boat, and we continued the process, and we still took my grandma with us. In my teenage years, when I got close to driving age, again back in the 80s when we had fuel crisis, my dad said, "This thing is terrible gas mileage, it's huge, it's heavy, it's expensive to fix. I'm going to sell it unless you want to drive it for your first car. Being a teenager, I know everything. I don't want it because I know everything. I'm going to get some import Toyota, whatever." So we sold it. I would give anything to have it back today, but it's gone. It's probably in a junkyard. And I didn't think about Internationals again for a couple decades. And I lived in Montana for about 11 years. And first couple years I was in Montana, I was down in a small town called Twin Bridges, Montana. And if you know anything about Montana, you know every town has a town pump, which is a fuel station, and they have a Quickie Mart and stuff, and there's a town pump, which is the name of the gas station in every town in Montana. They're a Montana-owned company. So I went into the town pump one day. I was in Twin Bridges and stopped in, get a soda pop and a candy bar, and it was, September, October, so it was hunting season. And there's a pale blue Travelall It didn't have a straight panel on it. It had a dead elk on the roof that was that blood was dripping down the other side. It was roped and tied on the roof of the truck. There was 2 dogs like that sitting inside, yapping and barking. Truck's running, and the guy's in the store. And out comes this 6'7" cowboy that could crush you with his hand in a handshake. And I asked him about his travel all, and he began to tell me all these stories about it and stuff like that. And suddenly in my brain, these memories started triggering in my head, and it started thinking about the travel all that my grandpa had. And the next day I'm on Craigslist. I'm looking for a travel all or a pickup, and yeah, kind of went from there.
It snowballed just a little bit.
But it took another truck to trigger the memory for me to come back to it. So I completely had forgotten about it for 20 years. And then this happened.
And then all of this happened.
Right. It's like when you open the little package and all the confetti blows out. I opened this little package of one travel all that I wanted to have, and then the confetti blew out, and then all this happened.
And now you have more internationals than pretty much anyone.
I know a lot of people have a lot more than me, but I would say I definitely have quite a few.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit the wall.
Did she finally tuck her out? Is she gonna lay down? She's gonna do it.
I don't know. She's thinking about it. Nope.
And we're back.
Cruise control is on. Good girl. It's a good puppy, yeah. He's a good dog. Very dirty. You need a bath.
Alright, well, the battery is about dead on this camera. This will probably be it for this video. I think it's going to be plenty long enough, but
Might be.
there's a whole lot more out here. We'd like scratch the surface here.
Very much, very much so. We can probably do this several times.
Yeah.
And it will be different every time.
So let me know if you want to see more. If you want to see more of what Ben has, 406garage.com.
Yep, and 406 Garage on Instagram.
Either one, and you'll see a lot more of these trucks and a lot of like what he's got for sale and stuff too. So
Yep, and you can send us a private message. Our phone number's on the website. You can email us, whatever you need to do.
if you think my phone rings a lot, wait till you see his. It makes me feel like I'm not doing so bad. Well, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.